I think coming to Australia was an upheaval for particularly the eldest. I mean, he was only 6 at the time, but I think leaving his friends over there, it took some getting used to. The 4-year-old was fine, didn't really understand what Australia was, or where it was, or what was happening. We told him about it. We kind of said we're going to this place called Australia, but for all he knew, it was 2 streets away. He had no concept of the world. And then for our youngest, being born in Australia, that's all they've known. So they've grown up, as Australians, knowing, and it's a different perspective. And I think what we found, what made the big difference for us, and I think one of the main reasons we stayed, was that the weather here is so much better. And that just opens up everything in your life. You don't realise until you've lived in the UK that you can't plan a barbecue until the day before, and even then it's probably going to get rained off. You can't plan a kids' party in your backyard because there's a 99% chance it's going to rain, it'll be too cold. Whereas here, you can plan it months in advance and you're pretty sure it's going to be sunny. So that for us was a big difference. And I think for the kids, it wasn't traumatic for the younger two, but the older one, took a little bit of getting used to it, because the first 3 or 4 months here we were stuck in an apartment with no yard or anything like that, just 2 bedrooms, and it was quite claustrophobic and quite sort of tough for them, but having been used to a big garden back in the UK. Yeah, well, one of the interesting things for me, one of the things that I found fantastic was the dads who of the kids at our kids' school get together once a month, and we go down the pub in Manly. We call ourselves the BBC, the Betterdads Boys Club, and it sounds a bit strange, but it's a great release, because we go down there, and the one thing we don't talk about is kids. So I think it's a coping mechanism that we just talk about complete rubbish, when I think of the hours I've spent, talking complete bollocks with people, I could have learned a new language or learned the piano, but no, it's all, that is what I find therapeutic, and that's what I need friends for, is to not talk about stuff like that, so that it gets your mind on other things. Because talking about kids, it can be great, and there are times when you would do that, but I found the greatest release is to go out with friends, have several drinks, and talk about banal subjects. I mean, the interesting thing is the wives don't understand how, because I'll go out and I'll get back and my wife will say, "Oh, what news?" And I'll say, "Well, none, we just talked." And they don't understand how we could spend half an hour deciding whether sex with conjoined twins counts as a threesome. But to us, that's a big, it could be a topic. You think, oh yeah, we're getting into that. But to them, it's all about, the kids and, and what's going on in the suburb and that sort of stuff. So for me, the great thing was being able to go out with friends and talk about anything but kids.